Pony Up says, Craig, do you think you could encourage Colin to come on Nick's stream or maybe introduce them? I have a political discussion between these two. I'd love a political discussion between these two.
Oh, yeah. Colin Moriarty. Colin's a stud, man. I think a lot of Colin, what he's built just in the gaming space in his business. Do you know Colin's story? Colin Moriarty?
I don't think so.
So brief background on Colin. Colin was worked at IGN for a long time, and then he spun off IGN, I don't know, a decade ago or so, with Greg Miller to start Kind of Funny. Do you know what Kind of Funny is?
Yep.
Okay. So Colin was there when Kind of Funny started. It was originally supposed to be, and I'm going off of the interview that I had with Colin because I learned this during the interview.
Right.
It was originally going to be just him and Greg Miller, but they brought along Nick Scarpino and Tim Geddes along with him, who also worked at IGN. So they formed Kind of Funny. After a couple of years, everything was great. After a couple of years, I think the long and short of it was they're in San Francisco, and Colin is. I don't even think he was conservative at the time, but he wasn't liberal. He wasn't like crazy, insane liberal.
Right.
And that kind of got in the way of his relationship with Greg and therefore their business and ultimately their company. So he more or less got booted out of the company, went out, started his own company, and now he's pulling way bigger numbers than Kind of Funny does. And like, good for him, man. I think Colin's a stud. So.
Oh yeah. That's good. Real quick, this is my alt channel, and my main channel is in danger every day of getting banned as a result of talking with these amazing people very candidly. So please do me a favor and subscribe down below. Helps me out a lot. Get the hell on it, doggone it. That's great. And I love seeing stories like that. I love seeing people break away and just start nuking it into orbit. It's like Disparu. Now, I don't know. I think Disparu might still work for Geeks and Gamers. I think that's how he got his start, but his channel went through the roof. So happy for him. Stuff like that. It's really, really cool to see. A little bit of a different situation, but yeah, I really like to see that. And to be fair, I wish a lot of video game publications would just die. Kotaku's a great one.
Oh, they'll be dead soon.
Oh, I can't wait, man. There was probably 4 different occasions where I put out a video about GameStop, and it was like earth shattering because I used to have people that worked in the corporate office that would like message me and send me memos and be like, bro, we got some shit going on. Right. Mm-hmm. And I would cover that kind of stuff. And it was awesome. Now no one trusts me, and they've all been fired anyway, up to this point. And they would send me this info and I would leak it in a video, and Kotaku would make an article about it and not mention me every single time. The biggest one ever was I leaked a conference call that I was on. This video went nuclear. Every YouTuber talked about it. Like every one of them had made a video about it, and it got like 400,000 views. It did really good, and it was just basically the conference call where the corporate team and the executives were telling the employees, "We know COVID is scary, but you're going to come into work, and if you don't, you're fired, and we're not going to pay you if you get sick." And they were being real dickish about it, like real matter of fact. And this was before anybody knew what COVID was.
Right.
This was the very beginning. So I was like, man, this is pretty screwed up. So I just leaked the call and commentated over it. And it went through the roof. And a week later, Kotaku put out an article. And it's like, conference call leaked, GameStop, blah, blah, blah. By the way, GameStop was refusing to close their doors. You know how most businesses were closing? GameStop said they were going to continue to stay open because they are what is it? What did they call them?
Rent to work? No,
it was if it was a certain store, they said they had to stay open because they had to, because God, what did they call it? They had a phrase for it. Like they were required to be open because they were so important to people. Somebody in the chat will say it. It's been so long now. Essential business.
Essential, yes, essential workers.
So they said they were an essential business, and the reason they were because they sold AA batteries. Not even joking. So I released that call 2 days after I released the call. GameStop closed nationwide.
Look at you. You
closed
were
nationwide. So Kotaku made an article, and they're like, a conference call leaked, blah, 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 blah. Right. And I'm like, oh my God, Kotaku made an article about me. And I go read it. And the only thing they even kind of mentioned was conference call leaked by a YouTuber. No, they did not mention who I was. Nothing. And I was like, the cannibals, vultures and cannibals, that they're supposed to be journalists, and all they do is copy and paste and steal shit. They don't even do any journalism.
Yeah.
They steal from actual journalists. So it's very annoying, and I've always hated them ever since. Thought they were gross.
We've had run-ins with Kotaku and Polygon and all that over the years. I mean, many of their editors in chief I've ran into many times and butted heads. There was one in particular, probably one of the, like, this is 2008 maybe. Do you remember Soulja Boy?
Yeah.
So Soulja Boy was he was like the hot thing. He was doing this, you know, the Crank That at the time. What was that? What it's called? Crank That. And he was like the hot thing in the game. He says, "Oh my gosh, a Raptor's in the gaming space. We got to talk to him." And I remember they did. I think his name was Steven Totillo, maybe. He was at MTV Multiplayer blog, who later I think he became the editor-in-chief of Kotaku or Polygon or one of those. But MTV Multiplayer brought in Soulja Boy to do like a game competition, and they played Street Fighter 2, and neither of them knew how to throw a fireball. Like neither. I was like, how do you play Street Fighter 2 in a gaming competition, not how to throw a fireball? So we did this rap response to him, and it's pretty awesome back in the pretty brilliant. But yeah, I've always been very critical of the gaming journalists, you know, in the space. There's, you know, obviously the meme of you know, gaming journalists aren't really gamers, they're just, you know, activists. But
no, they all are. They're all activists. Every other article is like, we're really concerned why this new character in this game's not a woman or not gay. It's like, why does it have to be a gay woman and everything? The new Avengers, they've already announced 3 or confirmed 3 of the new Avengers, and they're all like young women that are all different colors. And I'm like, let me guess, the other 3 Avengers are going to be 2 other women and 1 effeminate male, and every one of them is going to be gay except for one of them. Right. And then I think Dan Vasc or somebody said, plot twist, the only male is going to be a black guy, and he's going to be gay. And I'm like, shocking. I can't believe it. Can't believe it. Yeah, man, like, come on. This formula doesn't work anymore, and journalists want it so bad, but nobody's buying it. They're pandering to an audience that doesn't even buy their content, and they're alienating their core audience, the only people that was buying the content. It's the craziest strategy. I can't believe it's not working. Look at Five Nights at Freddy's, Craig. That it went through the roof. Complete box office success. The director said, "We're making a movie for the fans, and anything else you can eat my ass." Guess what? It was profitable. If Disney came out and said, "Hey, we're going to reboot Marvel and we're going to make it for the fans, no ifs, ands, and buts, no pandering," their first movie, like the new Avengers, and it has all these like new characters, $1 billion. But they won't do it because they're all worried about that sweet, delicious ESG financing for their projects. They can give 2 shits about their money they're making.
You think that's real?
Yeah.
You hear about that all, the ESG, the money that's being 100%. Handed in, push an agenda.
100%. There was
whose money is that? Whose money is this?
I don't know, it's freaking central banks or something. There was a big live event, and there was some guy speaking. He looks like a monster, like a goblin. He's apparently this super rich dude in charge of this bank. Somebody in the chat will probably pull up his name in 2 seconds. But he was giving a speech, and he was talking about ESG and banks. And he said, and this was like in 2017, and he said, eventually, if banks and media companies and whatever choose not to use this, we will get rid of them. We will get rid of them. They will not be around. They must adopt these ideas or die. Somebody's saying Klaus Schwab. It's Klaus Schwab. That's it. See how fast you guys are? How you guys so fast at this? Mathiel every time is getting, he's like, I know everybody. I know everybody's name. BlackRock. Yep. Klaus Schwab. Yep. Ray Finkel. Nope. Booger Boss. What the hell's wrong with you?
Laces out.
Oh my God. I had a crush on Ray Finkel, like the woman in that movie.
Really?
She was hot. She wasn't a real man.
I always thought she had like kind of like that type of woman never interested me. The kind of the overly, like, I don't know. You know what it was? It was her nose. I wasn't a big fan of her nose. And I think that trickled down to, I felt like she had kind of mannish figures before she was Ray Finkel, you know? Yeah.
No, I think it's a fetish of mine. Like, I like women that are built, got like abs, jacked, and could pick me up and carry me. But I don't know if I'd want to be with one. I just want one to sit on my face, you know?
Well, you know, I mean, at least you're honest, you know?
I got news for you. Yeah. So, no.